It's time to move on to our final panel already. And Catapult is, of course, a one-of-a-kind program that has heavily involvement and intense involvement from the entire EIT health community. Let's take a look at 4 more companies who are also participating in this program in the category Digital Health. Here's a video.
To create the change you want to see in the world is not an easy task. You have to have the discipline to stick to your plans, the courage to take the next step, and faith that your contribution will make a difference. Apart from working hard and smart, the key ingredient is people. In the BrainScan journey, we have the unprecedented privilege to collaborate with some of the smartest professionals in healthcare via numerous EIT health acceleration programs, such as Catapult, Head Start, and hopefully Amplifier. Those opened our network to the international stage, allowing true research, development, and provided us with so needed startup fuel funding. This short video is just a quick thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful people believing in us, and especially Mikołaj Gurdała and Ines Matias. Can't wait to see what the future holds for all of us.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the most common source of deaths in Western societies. It can hit anyone, anywhere, and you will die within minutes. A life-saving defibrillator is needed. Unfortunately, studies show that 30 to 40% of all publicly installed defibrillators are not working. CardioLink is the solution. We make sure defibrillators work when they're needed, and we're already installed in more than 20 countries.
More than 80% of people experience back pain, and the costs are 3 times the costs for all cancers. The number of spine MRI exams is increasing. There's a shortage of radiologists, and they have only half of the time they need. The radiologist's error rate for lumbar spine reading is 15%. Currently, the radiologist works like this. Why not show them Colombo? The key novelty is the full pathology description and structured report level by level. The benefits are 25% time savings, reduction of errors by up to 28%, and saved money. Colombo is currently tested, and we received many letters of intent from Europe and North America. The clinical trials are completed, and the results are very positive. They show improvement in every pathology with Colombo. CE mark and FDA approval are expected in 2021. We plan to be the first on the market and almost 22 million in revenues by 2026. Total addressable market is 1 billion.
Four amazing companies that help drive healthcare forward. Let's meet them live through our link. And of course, again, there's room for your questions, so please keep sending them in. And our moderator for this session is Clara Cano. There you go, Clara.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you so much for inviting us for this session. So I wanted to take the opportunity to say that this year for sure has been the year in which innovation, digital and data was a key pillar for the sustainability and growth of our society. It has been a year in which, to me, it was definition of collaboration. To me, that was the key word for the year. So I wanted to take that opportunity to ask all the people that I will introduce you, all our innovators, and to learn about a little bit more about them. What means collaboration for them and how it affected their day-to-day life. So first of all, I would like to introduce you to Darius. He is from BrainScan AI. And Darius, please could you share with us what you shared with me about what means collaboration for you?
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity, Clara. Collaboration is something that BrainScan is, it's a key factor for BrainScan as a whole. Without the contributions from individuals or from governments or from hospitals, we wouldn't be here. First and foremost, what it means to me is the collaboration from the patients themselves. Even if they don't know it, they are helping us to create a system that can easily detect pathologies in brain CT scans. So when we go to a hospital and we have an R&D project, we are using anonymized data sets from the patients that have had the CT scans, and their contribution is contributing the system, the software, and then is helping to save lives in the long run. Then it's the healthcare professionals from the hospitals that are telling us how pathologies look like and what tools do they need and what support do they need from our system, and that they would cherish and that they would like to use in their everyday life, and that would be helpful for them. And then the last but not least is the government, the collaborations with them. It's for R&D funding, so we can combine business and R&D in one swift go. That's collaboration for me.
Thank you so much, Darius. I really like that concept, right? Where you have different entities that need to collaborate and be together to achieve your objective. And that's exactly what Nikolai, that he is from SmartSoft, he was pointing at. When I asked him, he said, I would say it's a joint effort. And please, Nikolai, could you tell more? How do you reach success and how do you reach your objectives with this joint effort?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity, Clara. Yes, for us, cooperation, this is a joint effort from all team members to achieve common goal. Every team member in our company has a unique role, and we aim to achieve it the best possible way at the specified time. This is how we work from the very beginning to achieve every milestone, from the idea to clinical trials and market clearance. I can give you an example. When recently a potential client who is testing our product, our software product, asked us to merge his hospital information system with our software. So first, we connected him with the marketing, so to understand his needs. Then the requirements analyst prepared the technical specification. After this, the developers implemented it, the testers tested, and then the sales teams presented it back to the customer. So in a big company, in a huge company, this is a process that can take well over 2 months, but for us, it took just less than a week. So this is what collaboration means.
Fantastic. And something in common with both your comments, it's about people. How important people are for this and everything to happen, and how collaboration affects and how necessary it's between them. And that's exactly what he was pointing. Lars from Cardilink, he was talking about people. And we would like to know, what are these values or skills that you look for people that surround you to achieve your objectives?
Yes, Clara, thank you. For us, it's always on a high level. It starts with the people, then comes the process, and at the end comes the product. But that people, if you get the people right, and if the startup company becomes a place where they find sort of happiness and fulfillment, then getting the process right and bringing a good product to the customer becomes easy. You need to get the right heads into the company and form a real team. And I think that's actually what makes us so successful.
Thank you, Lars. And that brings me to introduce you to Elisa. Elisa, she's from SpotLab, and she wanted to point out how collaboration at the end of the day brings opportunities to their startups and to their innovation. So Elisa, can you share with us what are the opportunities you envision for the future or for the short term?
Yeah, sure. Well, for us, collaboration is a must and is always an opportunity. And as my colleagues were saying, well, we are startups, so we are a small but multidisciplinary team. So we are constantly collaborating among each other, and that's an opportunity for each of us to improve, learn, and grow. But we are also collaborating with our clients, with our final users. So we collaborate with them in co-developing our solutions. And as we offer a platform that can be adapted to different users and different pathologies, we're actually collaborating with many different health professionals. So from hematologists to microbiologists, for example. So this way we are obtaining data that it's not normal data, obtaining our own data sets with them to create these artificial intelligence solutions. So for us, collaborating with these health professionals, it's the opportunity to become one of the first companies in developing artificial intelligence models that address diseases that affect millions of people, like neglected tropical diseases, for example. So for us, it is an opportunity, an inspiring challenge, and well, we're happy with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for sharing with us what collaboration meant for you. And I could see clear values on how that means for innovation and to drive change and exceed on success. So I think it would be the right time to see if there are any questions from the audience. Did we receive any question?
Let me see what's coming for you, Clara, and of course the panel. I have a couple of questions, and let's start with the first question that is directed at SpotLab and SmartSoft specifically. And the question is, nowadays differentiation is key. How would you say that your products differentiate from your competitors? So SpotLab or SmartSoft, who wants to start?
Okay, I will start. Thank you for the question. Differentiation is key. Obviously, and we know that there is like a strong trend in artificial intelligence right now and a deep interest in applying to healthcare. Actually, we've noticed that there are thousands and thousands of articles published each year about deep learning models for diagnosis or such as things like what we do. But however, there are less than 80 IVDs or medical device approved by FDA or European regulators. And many of those who are approved are later not correctly integrated into health systems. So what we have realized from the beginning is that integration and validation is key. And we have had that in mind all the time. So our idea and our differential factor, we think, it's that we provide an end-to-end service. Like, we cover from the image acquisition and generating the data sets to the software analysis itself. So we are able to provide the client like an artificial intelligence factory of their own, so that they can generate and improve the artificial intelligence models. And we think this is a key success factor for both obtaining regulators' approval and in integrating into the clinical workflows and hospital system, so it would be easy adoption.
So it has multiple benefits, you're saying, not just that you stand out from competitors, but also when it comes to regulation.
Yeah, it will make our path easier. We think that's our bet.
That makes sense. How's that for you?
Hi. Well, how are we different? Currently, there are no AI applications for reading lumbar spine MRI reports. There are actually a couple one, but they work with CT images, and they can just do just one diagnosis. What we do is we are doing multi-pathology, so we can detect 6 pathologies. We can do also structured reports, level by level, and that's what differentiates us. At the same time, we have the biggest data set of the lumbar spine, more than 20,000 studies with structured report fully analyzed. So this is what brought us to successfully completing our clinical trials, and we are looking at achieving CE mark and FDA approval soon next year.
So it's volume mainly what makes you stand out?
No, it's not just volume. What we do is multi-pathology. To the moment, there is no AI solution, even for other body parts that has clinical validation for more than one pathology. We can do 6 pathologies, and the other that we provide we have structured report pre-populated, so that can save radiologists a lot of time.
Wonderful. Now a question for the other 2 companies, unless someone wants to add to this? Nope, then we'll just move on to the other question. And that, of course, is then directed at BrainScan and CardiLink. So 2020 has been a year defined by the COVID situation, as we all know. That's why we're virtual this year. How did it affect your startup and working with small teams? Who wants to kick this off, BrainScan or CardiLink?
Oh, if I may jump into on this question, that would be terrific. Because as a digital health company right now, we are using algorithms to do good, right? But there are 2 ways to implement a system. So you can go into the hospital and you can install your software or install a virtual machine in the hospital and connect it to the PACS. So it's a problem nowadays. Hospitals are oversaturated with patients, and they don't have the time and they don't have the people and the technicians to talk to a startup, even though they understand the value that we are giving them, because we have the CE2A mark for our product. It's validated, so we can actually install it in the hospital, but that doesn't matter if they don't have the time and the people to actually help them, right? So we were like, okay, hold up. We need to have clients. We need to install this thing. So what we decided to do is to contact teleradiological companies. I don't know if you guys know that a lot of hospitals actually outsource their interpretation work in radiology settings. So let's say you have a CT scan, and then your CT scan goes to a radiologist that is sipping on a martini, right, on a beach somewhere in a couple thousand kilometers from the hospitals. He does the interpretation, and he has a big screen on the beach, doesn't matter. So he does the interpretation comes back to the hospital. And we were like, okay, if we can tap into the moment that the radiologist gets the image from the hospital, but via a teleradiological entity, an outsourcing company, then we can provide value. And long and behold, we wanted to have 2 hospitals. Right now we have one teleradiological company which has 20 times more CT scans going through and using our systems than before. So the COVID situation actually challenged us to think differently about our model, going door to door, selling our AI, right? And go a little bit bigger with the outsourcing companies that can actually, in this setting particularly, can use our work and see clear benefits.
So would you say, or do you think that it would have happened without the COVID situation?
I think we would do a lot more door knocking if it wasn't for the COVID situation. It pushed us to go faster in that way. But because it does have its own problems, if it goes for the API system, if it goes for the infrastructure, if it goes for the server communication. So we needed to do a lot of development differently.
So a whole set of new challenges.
Exactly.
And what was it like for the other company?
So, well, on a personal level, what I miss most is actually interacting and visiting customers. That's the favorite part of my job. Just sitting with customers, discussing the solutions, and see how we can do business together.
Yeah, that must be difficult now.
Everything is virtual. Virtual is all right, so to say, but I think still the conversation, you miss certain elements of communication.
Absolutely. And was that the only thing that changed for you?
Well, business-wise, I have to say it's been an exceptional year.
That's good.
Being an IT company, it has not really affected our operations. Everybody's fine to work from home, just as long as the laptop has a working internet connection. CardLink is ready to go. Business-wise, I think this has accelerated a lot for what we do, because essentially we make sure that those devices placed outside, that they are in working condition, that they work when they're needed. And before CardLink, that was a manual process. But now with governments saying, with cities saying, with communities saying that you're not supposed to be outside, how are you going to check on these devices?
That's true.
So then there comes this startup company and say, we have a solution. And that actually worked so well this year. When we started this EIT Health Catapult, we were looking for money. Now at the end of this EIT Health Catapult, we say, we don't actually need that investment. We grow out of our own strengths.
Wow, that is amazing. So that's a benefit of COVID, you could say. Both of you have been accelerating thanks to, which is a weird thing to say, the global pandemic. But of course, we hope that we'll return to normal at some point, hopefully not too far in the future. Well, with that, I would like to wrap up this panel as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Clara, for doing the moderation of this one.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And of course, thank you all at home or in the office who've been sending in questions and enjoying this conversation as well. It's almost time for the moment we've been waiting for. It's nearly time for the EIT Health Awards and of course the Alex Costa Audience Award. We're going to be joined by various people to announce and celebrate the winning pitches. We're going to take a short comfort break, so go ahead and stretch your legs. We're going to be back at 2:30 and I hope to see you then to announce the winners in the category Biotech. I'll see you then.